Greetings, YouTube, and welcome back to another vlog. And yeah, I do apologise for not uploading as much as I would have liked. Last week, well, the beginning of last week, I think it was last Saturday, I started to come down with a bit of a cold. At first, I thought, you know what, I'm going to be alright. I thought I'm just a little bit sniffly. I thought I'd get over it. But then came Sunday, and my God, did it knock me out, and it really knocked me for six. And I mean, I was hoping I wouldn't get a cold because the weather's been really nice, but unfortunately, I've been recovering for the last couple of days. But honestly, yeah, Sunday night after watching the May Meister stream, I had to go to bed because I felt absolutely dreadful. I really did. And it wasn't, yeah, mate, the cold just oh my God, it absolutely destroyed me. Yeah, I was getting really bad headaches and I was feeling extremely lightheaded. I was like, you know what? I'll have a quick drink, some painkillers, and then some sleep, and see if that'll help. On the Monday, it felt like as if it made no difference, and I felt even worse. Yeah, I mean, my nose was streaming. The room was like spinning like all day. So doing simple doing a simple task like putting toast in the putting bread in the toaster. Well, I was about to say put toast in the toaster. That's what a fucking toaster's for, you dickhead. But yeah, doing simple jobs like that was impossible because the room was like it was like as if someone was like doing that to you and like spinning you around like so. Like this. It was just horrible. So I had to I had to take my time, and because of how hot the weather is, it made the dizziness worse. So I had to like sit down and take a good rest, and yeah, I had to book work off because of this. And I thought, you know what, I'm my week is gonna get worse. Tuesday there was a slight improvement, even though I was less dizzy and my nose wasn't streaming as much. My head, however, my head was absolutely pounding. Oh my goodness! It felt like Rocky Balboa came up to me and punched me in the head like 1,000 times. And I was like, you know what? I gotta get over it. And then it made me cold, even though my nose wasn't running as much. It ended up going to my chest a little bit. So I was like, all I could feel was like mucus and stuff like that. It wasn't very nice. And I had to take a load of these throat lozenges. Yeah, these like cherry flavored halls. I thought, you know what, this is it's not fun. And you know what? I thought I've done well not to get ill for a while, and they caught up to me. And no, wasn't COVID or anything like that. Thankfully, I didn't lose my sense of smell or taste. But I don't know. It was just like, yeah. Wednesday I was starting to feel quite a bit better than what I did, but I was still far from 100%. But I think it was from Thursday onwards where I started to feel much better. In fact, if I today, I probably feel about 90-95%. I feel a hell of a lot better than what I did. It was Thursday and Friday where I drastically improved. You know what? For once, even though I complain about how hot the weather is, I actually didn't mind it this time because I was using the warm weather to sweat the cold out of me, and it worked. And I had a curry yesterday, so that made things great. Yeah, it was a chicken madras, and I can't eat anything hotter than that. That's my limit. I tried vindaloo once, never again, and it was worse the next day, which you can imagine. I was not prepared for that, and nah. But then you have these people who think, oh yeah, I can eat the hottest curry going, and I was a bit like that. I just wanted to show off. It backfired. Nah, mm, don't do that. You try and it's like you try to impress your mates and all the lot. Yeah, you make yourself look like a right twat. It's as simple as that. But yeah, but today I feel fantastic, and it's the first time I'd gone out in like near enough a week. And yeah, I went out to oh, bleh. I don't know if I can speak. God's sake. I went out this morning, and yeah, I got a few bits like essential stuff and all that. And then of course I went to the charity shop, and yeah, I bought more DVDs. Well, when I say more DVDs, I think I bought a box set of films and a separate film on its own. Yeah, DVDs. For whatever reason, this charity shop, you hardly see any Blu-rays, if at all. But yeah, there's some good. There was quite a few stuff, quite a few like box sets in there, but a lot of, but it's from like programs that I'm not really particularly interested in, or programs that I've never seen before, and I don't even know if I should watch them or not. Like I think it was a complete box set of The Sopranos, and you know what? I've never really watched it, even though it always used to be on Channel 4 here in the UK. But it's just mostly DVDs, and I tell you what does my absolute head in. You know, you always see CDs there, but about 80 or 90% of them are like the greatest hits. Like, oh yeah, the greatest hits of Rod Stewart, greatest hits of the Eagles, Tom Jones. You get the picture. It just makes me laugh. And then you always get like, oh yeah, a soundtrack from a shitty kids film like High School Musical. Like, give it a bloody rest. And there's some of the DVDs, so there's a lot of absolute drivel, but I know. But anyway, we'll get on to it. So yeah, the first DVD I picked up is a film from 1963, starring Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant, and that is the film Charade, or or is it Charade? You can. I've always pronounced it as Charade, but as I say, you can. Neither charade or charade is wrong. I don't think anyway. So that's that. Yeah, is it? I have watched this film many a times. One of the best. One of my favorite films with Audrey Hepburn. I think my favorite film of hers is My Fair Lady because I used to watch that a lot as a kid, usually over Christmas. But yeah, this is an absolutely fantastic thriller, absolutely brilliant. Um, Yeah, so I'll read the story about on the back of it. Yeah, Regina Lambert, Audrey Hepburn, returns to Paris from a holiday in Switzerland to find that her husband Charles has been murdered and her house ransacked. She is later told by a CIA agent that her husband was involved in robbing $250,000 of gold from the US government during World War II, and the government wants it back. Later, later that day, she is visited by Peter Joshua Cary Grant, who she had briefly met whilst on holiday. When her husband's ex-partners in crime, when her ex-husband's ex-partners in crime, who were double-crossed by Charles, start harassing her about the missing money. Peter offers to help find it. Thus begins an elaborate charade in which nothing is what it seems to be. Yeah, I absolutely adore this film. And you know, it has one of my favorite. I love the intro to it. If you haven't seen the intro to it, I think you should. I absolutely fantastic movie. And yeah, so now yeah, this yeah, now we're on to a movie franchise where, in my opinion, only three of these exist. Yeah, because the others after that are just absolute wank. And I'll say it how it is. But to me, I just classified this as a trilogy, and this is one of the well, probably one of the greatest film series ever until they fucking ruined it. But but we have got Indiana Jones: The Adventure Collection. So it has the first three Indiana Jones films, which of course Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. And you know what? I have a lot of fond memories of watching them films, particularly The Last Crusade. That one's my absolute favorite of the lot. But you know what? Watching these films, I don't know. I in some ways I do get a little bit emotional because yeah, my late nan, God rest her soul, she absolutely loved these films. Yeah, she absolutely loved Indiana Jones for whatever reason. But I know, and I don't know from when I watched well, believe it or not, I think The Last Crusade was actually the first Indiana Jones film I watched. So I was like intrigued to watch the others when I was a kid. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Temple of Doom is probably the weakest one of the lot, but I'd still say it's worth a watch. So yeah, but one thing that absolutely annoys me, and I'm sure it doesn't, when Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, it was just called Raiders of the Lost Ark, not Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, they had to add that Indiana Jones film to make sure. They had to add that talent to make sure you know which fucking franchise it is. To me, I'll just call it Raiders of the Lost Ark because that's all I that's what I associate it as. And yeah, I know. I remember watching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when I was out in theaters, and I thought it was absolute pants. I really did. I mean, some people do have a bit of a soft spot for it, but I don't know. I watched it, and having seen the trilogy before Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I mean, I was thoroughly disappointed. And you know what? I've not seen the new one, Dial of Destiny. I had a look. I had a look at the trailer. I'm like, this is some fucking woke trash. Get it in the bin. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just render Harrison Ford as useless, and let's have Phoebe Waller-Bridge beat him at everything. Yeah. Let's throw yeah, let's make Indiana Jones the bad guy and make him useless at everything. Fuck off. That's not Indiana Jones stuff. Why would you try and make a well-loved character into a despicable human being? Like make him look like a bad person. Oh yeah, but of course it's modern Hollywood, because they like to try and shove the fucking politics in people's faces as much as possible, and it's fucking backfired because they're losing shitloads of money. Yeah, just like Disney. But that's a subject for a different day because Hollywood is a right bloody mess, and then they go and absolutely ruin. To be fair, no matter what franchise they do, they will absolutely butcher the hell out of it. Imagine if they did. Imagine if they do a remake of Back to the Future. That would just. I mean, that'll be. I'll just give up because the original, Back to the Future trilogy is like it's my favorite trilogy of films. If I'm being honest with you, it's my absolute favorite trilogy. But I know I just. It's sad to think how films have become, and I gotta be honest with you, it's been downhill since. I gotta be honest with you, the last great decade for movies, in my opinion, was the 1990s. I mean, we've had some decent stuff from the 21st century, like trying to think of some good films we've had like post 2000. Um, I know probably something like just trying to think of a really good film. Um, I don't know. I'll say Casino Royale. Yeah, with the James Bond film with Daniel Craig. That film is absolutely fantastic. Um, was I've one. There's a few good ones. I liked. Trying to think of a film I liked. From the 21st century. I don't know. I like the first two Spider-Man films, the ones with Tobey Maguire. I just haven't been interested in the other Spider-Man films or the lot. Not really. I'm not a Marvel fan at all, though. As I say, I do like some of the Spider-Man films, but I don't know, the first two for me with Maguire was absolutely fantastic. I remember quite liking the X-Men film, the one from 2000. And yeah, but for stuff like the Avengers, you name it, nah, just didn't do it. Doesn't do it for me at all. Yeah. Oh, Collateral. That's an absolutely fantastic film. I think that was from 2004. And yeah, I think that's enough discussion about the movies for today. So anyway, what other stuff would I like to talk about? Yeah, we'll talk about the situation with Jordan Henderson. And you know what? I completely get the anger and frustration that is being has been directed towards the former Liverpool captain. Where I know where Jordan Henderson was like spouting a load of bollocks. If I'm being honest with you, he was spouting bollocks about all this stuff saying oh yeah, I did join Saudi Arabia for the money. I mean, come on, of course you did. And you know what? It doesn't bother me. I would have preferred it if he was being a bit more honest instead of spouting all this random nonsense. Oh yeah, I want a new challenge in my life. And then he started talking about stuff about the LGBTQ community not being very good in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, which I understand that. But for goodness sake, don't try and use that as a mask to disguise to deflect the situation away from you wanting a bit more money. I mean, he's already loaded as he is. But if he wants to play there for money, then that's his choice at the end of the day. And I know a lot of people were like really pissed off and saying, "Oh yeah, he doesn't care about football." I mean, I get that, but Jurgen Klopp made it clear to him that he wouldn't have as much game time as he once did. I mean, he isn't the same player as he once was, and I agree with Jurgen that his game time should be limited because he cannot perform at that same sort of level as he once did. What he's done for Liverpool, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, captain us to winning the Champions League, in 2019. Um, Winning Liverpool their first Premier League title, well, their first league title since 1990, and yeah, and also 2022 when we won the FA Cup, which we hadn't done since 2006. So you know what? I thank Jordan for everything that he's done. I mean, he has received quite a bit of criticism in more recent times, which to be to be fair, you'd expect that for a player for around his age. He's now 32, and now people are just getting mad because yeah, Gareth Southgate is selecting him in the England team because of his because Gareth Southgate likes him. I'll get on to Southgate in a minute. He gets on my absolute goat. I will explain a bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, he selected John Henderson, and people are just getting mad because I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of Southgate, just let him select this team. And just let him pick it because it doesn't matter which player he's going to pick. We're not going to win a fucking tournament. And this is where that annoys me. If we had a foreign manager like we had Sven Göran Eriksson guide in England, he didn't do too bad though. He ultimately let us down, as did the players. Yeah, because he let their ego get the better of them and then get knocked out. In we lost on penalties in Euro 2004 to Portugal, and the same thing happened in 2006 in the World Cup, which he had to go. But I bet you if we had a foreign manager in charge of England, like with Sven-Göran Eriksson and Fabio Capello. Though to be fair, Capello was as useless as a. I mean, it was as useless as a nun with tits. Though to be fair, yeah, you probably know that. And then we have Roy Hodgson. Yeah, enough said about that. But but I've got to be honest with you, Gareth Southgate has let England down God knows how many times, but he keeps his job. And do you know why he keeps his job? Because he's a yes man. He's a nice guy. But the thing is, nice guys, nice people, they don't get you results. But to be fair, it doesn't matter if we have a horrible piece of shit manager in charge of England. We're not going to win anything. And then I know people saying, "Oh yeah, England are good enough to do it." I mean, you'd think that, but sometimes they just cannot separate their ego away from their ability to play football. And sometimes, in fact, no, all the time, they let their egos get the better of them. And of course, it's the downfall. Let's be honest with you. I mean, I feel sorry for like the younger children who are just getting into football and start watching England. I can understand them being I can understand them being upset and gutted for losing like the Euro final and getting knocked out of the World Cup. As a kid, I felt that I was absolutely deflated. I understand that from that point of view, but I've seen it that many times where I'm like, you know what, I'm past the point of caring. I couldn't give a shit about the internationals because I mean, yeah, there's qualifiers. England, we know they will qualify. They always do. Yeah, and people say, "Oh, we had fantastic performances." What against like fucking San Marino or I don't know, Slovakia? That's not amazing. Fucking hell! If I'm being honest with you, a team of headless chickens would beat them without any problems. It's when we get to the actual tournament where, yeah, we get instantly found out. And when we do win games, it's probably like the scrappiest of wins, not convinced or anything like that. Not often where I see England play a decent performance. And you know what? I mean, of course, I will always support England. I've done since I was a kid, but sometimes it's pointless watching because you know exactly what is going to happen each and every time. And yet the media like to hype us up. Don't believe all the hype because you know what's going to happen. We're going to be let down time and time again. And then it and then you have some people like you have some ex-footballers like crying out their eyeballs because yeah we lost the tournament. Well, why are you crying? You should be used to it by now. Fucking hell. I mean, I feel as if some people get a bit too invested in the sport. I mean, I have in the past, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's just a game of football. Unless you actually have a trophy to prove, unless you actually have a trophy to prove that you're a good team, and it'll give you more confidence going forward. I mean, when Argentina won the World Cup, which well, they thoroughly deserved it, they did. But it was an interesting game. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was against was it France in the final? I can't remember. Yeah, but it's funny though. People just getting I don't know, getting absolutely distraught over a game of football. I mean, there's always next time, but for England, there's never a next time because we won't win it. And yeah, and I know football's coming home. I absolutely detest that song. I absolutely detest it because obviously you know it ain't coming home, so don't get your hopes up. And then you have like the media. Oh, Harry Kane, Harry Kane, he's a great player. I mean, yeah, he is absolutely fantastic, but they sort of get too distracted away wanking off to a certain footballer that they completely forget the rest of the team. But I'll tell you what, one thing that annoys me about Gareth Southgate is Yeah, he loves Harry Maguire. He has to select him every time, even though he's been absolutely shocking for Man United. Yeah, but yeah, he loves Maguire so much that I reckon he has a human-sized cutout of him in his bedroom, so he can go home and bash the bishop. He loves him that much, and I don't get why. I'd like to know what I'd like to know what he's been smoking to suggest that he is more than good enough to play for England, Manchester United. Oh yeah, but oh yeah, we've got to pat him on the back. We've got to like Gareth. How he fucking cost us Euro '96 by missing a penalty against Germany. I know, but it absolutely it makes me laugh that people would just I don't know they'll just get on the hype train and go woo woo like yeah absolute tosh. So that's all I can really say about the football. I mean, I sometimes look. I say I love the sport, but there are times where it absolutely frustrates the shit out of me. So we'll just move on for that. So yeah, what else shall I talk about? Oh yeah, I was watching. Sorry, got lost my voice a bit. Yeah, I was watching Mainmeister's Friday Waffle last night, and yeah, he was showing off some of his LPs, yeah, some of his like singles from what he owned during his youth. And there's some absolutely quality stuff there that I seen. I mean, he is into his he had a lot of ska music, two tone, that sort of thing. And because I was watching that video, I went immediately on. Well, after I watched the waffle, I immediately went onto YouTube. Well, I was already on YouTube, and then I was listening to all kinds of ska music, whether it be the Specials, who of course Terry Hall shall rest in peace. Yeah, the guy's a legend. Yeah, you have people like you have the Specials. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Bad Manners. That's it. Yeah, the song. Yeah, the songs. Was it Special Brew? I mean, some of these songs like really good. And you know what? That's the sort of music my mum and dad like as well. There's the Special, aka. Then there was Madness, like the earlier stuff, the very early stuff, like One Step Beyond and Baggy Trousers. To me, I think they're probably the best songs he ever did. Um, I mean, the song Welcome to the House of Fun. I gotta be honest with you, I'm a bit, because they always play that one on the radio, I'm a bit burnt out on it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a great song, but sometimes when you hear same songs over and over again, it does start to, drive you a little bit potty. So, I mean, there's some interesting choices. But I mean, you had the Stranglers, which, I mean, I like most of the songs though. To be fair, I mean, I like most of the songs though. Sometimes I have to be in the mood to listen to them, and yeah, I know I need to get out some of my CDs at some point. I haven't gone through all of them yet. I think there's some. I'm not sure if I have all my CDs though. I think a few. I don't think I do. I think a few of them have gone missing. So I'll have to dig some of them out at some point. But yeah, I cannot be bothered doing that today because it is absolutely boiling hot. I can't put the fan on in here because if I do, obviously the mic will pick it up. So I'm just sweating like a pig. So what can you do about it? Um, but yeah, yeah, he had a great choice. Yeah, yeah. What one song I forgot about was he had "Love Changes Everything" by Climby Fisher, which I mean. I mean that's quite a fun song to listen to. I won't say it's one of my absolute favorites, but it's an enjoyable song. Um, and he had a Spandau Ballet one. The song was it? What? It was one. It was, I can't remember which song it was. It wasn't. It wasn't like True or Gold or Through the Barricades. What was it? I can't remember, but it was a Spandau Ballet one he had. But you know what? I mean, some good choices there, and that's it. I mean, I sometimes go through a bit of a phase where all I want to do when I'm at home is just listen to tons of music, and my choice is a bit eclectic. So there's a bit of electronic in there, punk, alternative. I don't know, even like some like dance rave songs in there. It's just all over the place. A little bit of pop. Though to be fair, I don't really listen to pop music all that much these days. In fact, I've got to be honest with you, music today is crap. Let's be honest with you. I think the only decent artist, if I can even call her one, is you got Dua Lipa, who of course she does like disco sort of music. I mean she can sing, and to be fair, she is. I mean she's fit as fuck. There's no ifs or buts about it. But I don't know the problem with it. Even though her songs are good, they all sound very similar to one another, and that's the problem. I mean, at least she tries because some of the other artists sound exactly the same as the other, so you cannot differentiate between Ariana Grande or I don't know Nicki Minaj. Though to be fair, you probably know Nicki Minaj because she's had so much plastic done. It's just weird. But I think I think probably one of the few other decent ones that Olivia Rodrigo, whatever her name is. Yeah, because I mean I can't remember what one of the songs is. At the moment, it's not too bad, but it's not one I'd like immediately go out and buy. Because I'd rather. Sometimes I just stick to what I know best. I know. Some people say, "Oh yeah, there's still good music out there. You just gotta dig further and further into it." I mean, could I be fucked? I've done that. There's other people that you have to go a lot more out of your way compared to what you used to. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I'm happy with what I'm listening to, I will just continue listening to the stuff that gives me the most enjoyment. If there's ever such a thing. Well, do I mean if there's ever such a thing? Of course there is. But sometimes you're not in the mood to put your headphones on, listen to music. Sometimes you just feel worse for it. Then other days it's like, right, I'm up for it. But as I say, it doesn't necessarily have to be like actual music from like bands, groups, singers, whatever. Like video game music, of course. I mean, I don't know. I like anything. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of music from the Amiga. I mean, there's some absolute quality game soundtracks on there. I mean, I know I could go through a list of them. Um, I know, I'll just say like the Turrican trilogy, particularly the second one. Yeah, brilliant soundtrack by Chris Hillsbeck. Um, we got the Shadow of the Beast trilogy, because the first one was done by David Whittaker. I don't really care for the games all that much, but the music he did for the first one was superb. And Tim and Lee Wright did the music for the second and third one. Yeah, and then we got Tim Wright with Gerontel, of course. He did the music of the game Agony. I don't know, I just love it. Um, we have some great piece of music by the late Richard Joseph for games like Gods. Yeah, who do wonderful. Yeah, that intro, love it. he did the music for Speedball 2, which I absolutely love. The Chaos Engine, yeah, that soundtrack's a banger. And I even like the music that Jason Page did for some of his games, like Iridium 2. Yeah, there's some quality tunes on there. There's that one. Fire and Ice. I know. I genuinely like that game. Yeah, one of my favorite games by Andrew Braybrook. I mean, he's made some bloody good games on the Commodore 64, like Paradroid. But I that one is great. I like the music to Platoon in it. I mean, David Whittaker did the music to that on the Amiga version, and of course, well, Jonathan Dunn did it on the Commodore 64. Even some of the early Amiga games like Xenon, it was good. I mean, I know I honestly the Xenon games I personally cannot stand them, but I love I like putting on the music to Xenon 2, which is of course Mega Blast by Bomb the Bass. That was it. Yeah, I can imagine how. Although I don't even know how an Amiga did that. This came out in 1989. Well, the song was done in '88. The game came out in '89. What other Amiga soundtracks are there? Oh yeah, I like the music to it. Heimdall, yeah, Martin Iverson. And you know what? He's done some good stuff on there as well. I liked some of the music he did for Chuck Rock 2. He didn't do the music for the first one. I thought he had. That was Matthew Simmons. But honestly, I could talk about the Amiga all day. And even some of the music that you have on them crack intros on the demo scene stuff, absolutely fantastic. But even some of the stuff on the ST isn't too bad though. To be fair, all it is it's a more powerful ZX Spectrum with it uses the same sound chip, but it just looks nicer. But that's really it for that. Then like some of the game music I grew up with, like on the NES, like when we had like Super Mario Brothers, Castlevania. But honestly, when I heard people upload them on like YouTube, it sounds weird listening to the speed that they're intentionally meant to be, like the 60 hertz. It's because I grew up with games in 50 hertz, like the PAL stuff. And you know what? It felt weird, but you know what? The more I listen to it, yeah, most, if not all, sound better in the full 60 hertz. But the thing with the Commodore 64, most of them sound better in 50 hertz, like Ghostbusters. I've heard some of the music in the NTSC ones. To me, they sound far too fast. Same with same with the Terminator game on the Mega Drive. 60 hertz, the music just sounds too bloody fast. Because yeah, the Terminator that game was original. It was made here in the UK. Yeah, the Terminator game for the Mega Drive. Yeah, music done by Matt Furniss. Every soundtrack he's done, well, most of his soundtracks good. Yeah, he did have an off day with Chase HQ, but then again, Ocean had an off day with Chase HQ for the Commodore 64. I mean, you go and make an absolutely superb arcade conversion on the Spectrum and Amstrad, which I honestly think are even better than the original arcade game it's based on. But yeah, they absolutely shut the bed when doing it for the Commodore 64. But I gotta be honest with you, unfortunately it wasn't the only time that they ballsed it up. In all honesty, it's honestly laughable to see how much yeah, to see the contrasting quality between the Spectrum and the Amstrad one's Commodore 64. I mean, yeah, unfortunately the C64 had it bad with the Renegade games. I mean, Target Renegade on the C64 is at best mediocre. They at least tried with that one. But on the Spectre and the Amstrad, probably they're like two of the greatest beat 'em ups ever made. and they made a pretty meh arcade game into absolutely fantastic. Renegade 3 was absolute bollocks across all formats. An absolute broken, glitchy mess of a game. And I can't remember one of the magazines. It was either Crash or Zap. I think it was like one of those. They gave it a score of 9. They gave it like 90%, 99, 91%, and they would say like it's the best Renegade game yet. I mean, if you're on volume, probably, but honestly, that game is just so. I don't even know how they managed to give it a score. I bet the people at Ocean or whoever it was, bet they were like holding a gun at their head, say, right, you're going to give this game 90%. Did they like try and do that? Oh, I bet. Yeah, they're probably like holding them to ransom if you don't put this in. If you don't give it a good game review, but not a lot. But then again, I think some of the magazines, I heard that they were like arse licking a few of the other companies because they enjoyed their games and they didn't really want to hurt their feelings or anything like that. But that's what annoys me. Some magazines, like even like some of the gaming magazines. Remember again, like the official PlayStation magazine as a kid. Sometimes a lot of the reviews on there were just not honest at all. I mean, I get why they try to do that because they want to get people to buy the game. But there's sometimes you just gotta be honest and say it how it is. Yeah, in one of the magazines it was either Zap or Crash. Yeah, Archer McLean, may he rest in peace. Yeah, they did a review of drop zone for the Commodore 64, and Archer said that the game is better on the Atari 800. He was honest about it, and you honestly I have to applaud him for that. And when you do play it, when you play the C64 and the 800 version side by side, yeah, the 800 version is better. For the Commodore 64, it's damn good, don't get me wrong, but it just felt absolutely flawless on the 800. Like, there's a few games I think were better on the Atari 800 compared to the C64. Like, I thought Boulder Dash was slightly better on there. Fort Apocalypse, and in my opinion, Bruce Lee. Though to be fair, the C64 version of Bruce Lee is superb. But is there a bad version of that game? I don't think there is, if I'm being honest with you. But that's it. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, even though the C64 is probably my favorite of the microcomputers, um, I put that bias aside when I know that certain versions of particular games are better on the other microcomputers. Like I mentioned about Renegade being better on the Amstrad and Spectrum. But like even like sometimes like the Atari 800 versions of those games are better than on the Commodore 64. And there's a rare time where the Amstrad versions are vastly superior to the Spectrum, even the C64 ones. Like the game Aliens. I don't know, the Aliens games on most of the formats are not bad at all, but they nailed it with the Amstrad one, particular when it comes to atmosphere. And that's it. You have these games that, I mean, with limited graphics, you may not have the best graphics, but they more than made up for gameplay because there's so many times in more recent history where you have games that have some of the best looking graphics going, but it's riddled to hell with bugs and is extremely unresponsive to play. Then they have the absolute cheek to ask £60 for a game, and then you're like, oh yeah, the game's not complete. Guess what? You're gonna have to pay microtransactions. Well, I'll tell you what I think of it. You can get to absolute fuck. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I don't want to spend £60 on a broken game and then expect me to spend even more on it to get like extra content and all that. I mean, I miss the days where like you have like I mean I still play on the PlayStation 1 or 2, but I like I like to earn things by playing the game as much as I can, get the most out of it. Unless I get too frustrated with it, because like I say, there's some games where I just didn't bother unlocking all the characters because I got too mad at it. Like I know on the original Tekken for the PlayStation One, I mean unlocking Heihachi is bad enough because in that game you have to in the first Tekken you have to beat the game and not lose a single round or anything like that. I mean, at least you could go to the options, set the game to easy, but even on easy, the game's still bloody difficult. And yeah, you have to beat the game perfectly and not do it and not and do it under 5 minutes. I've unlocked Heihachi, but Devil Kazua is even worse. I've never done it unless I use like a PS1 cheat disc and done it that way. Because to unlock Devil Kazuma, you have to be perfect at the game that's on it, which is Galaga, which is a yeah, it's a classic arcade game. You have to be absolutely flawless in it. Yeah, just I lost my rank. I mean, I could have done it, but I was like, nah, fuck this. I mean, Tekken 2, I unlocked all the characters without much of an issue. Though, though to unlock the character like the characters, yeah, Alex and Roger, which are like a dinosaur and the kangaroo. What you have to do is get to stage three at the third fight, and make sure that your health is down to like near the bottom. Like make sure that your health is yeah one hit away from getting killed yourself. If you hear the announce if you hear the announcer in the game say great, and if you just do it perfect, and then make sure that you don't fuck up. That's how you unlock Alex and Roger. But yeah, you have to do it on level 3. So after you've done that, you end up fighting one of them on level 4, and then voila, you've unlocked them. But it was like that. Some of the stuff that they made you do in like the fighting games on like the PlayStation was ridiculous. Yeah, I know. I remember having a really hard time unlocking all the characters on Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. I played that one a lot when I was younger. It was the first Street Fighter game that I played. I mean, I didn't own the game, and then I bought it a couple of years later. Because I mean, a friend of mine or one of our neighbors had EX Plus Alpha, which was my first experience to Street Fighter. I mean, obviously Street Fighter 2 is the best game in series, but I don't know. EX Plus Alpha, as clunky as that game is, it has a special place in my heart, and the soundtrack to that is just outstanding. Particularly the theme on I think it's the theme on Giles level. Yeah, some absolutely phenomenal music on there. I mean, but with Tekken 3, that's probably the fighting game. It's my favorite fighting game of all time. Probably the game spent the most time on as a kid, unlocking all the characters and everything. And now me and my bro just played that game for like hours. We sort of used to play on it like an entire day because the Tekken 3 had so many great characters. That game, in my opinion, is perfect. For most people, it was their first taste of the Tekken series, and you know it is the best one of the lot. There's no ifs or buts about it. Though some people may prefer Tekken 2. My first experience with Tekken was the first one, but the order that I played them in was a bit weird because I played the first Tekken first, then I went to Tekken 3, then 2, then 5 on the PS2, then Tag Tournament, then 4, and then 6. When I had Tekken 6 when I had my PlayStation 3, which I enjoyed that game a lot, but I prefer I don't know on the PlayStation 1. I don't know. Yeah, I've been waxing lyrical about the PlayStation since I first played on it, since we first got out. Me and my brother got out. I was in 1999. I think it was 99 anyway. I mean, it could have been 98, but I honestly don't remember. So I'll just say 99. And it just makes me, I mean, it makes me happy that I experienced some of these great games. I feel sorry for what kids are playing nowadays because they just seem to play the same lackluster, like boring first person shooters like Fortnite, which I honestly don't get. Minecraft, I understand that, not my sort of game, but I get why Minecraft is as popular as it is. FIFA, nah, I'm done. I'm pretty much done with that series. I mean, the last FIFA game pretty much disappointed me. But I bought it not because it's FIFA, but I just like football, so you know. But to be fair, the FIFA games that I love the most run the PlayStation One, PS2, even like when I had it like the Xbox as well. Yeah, I played it, but I don't know. I'm done. The old ones to me were where it was at. But of course, even the early FIFA games on the Sega Mega Drive are pretty damn good. Like FIFA 95 and 96 were great. International Soccer, which was of course was the first FIFA game ever made, and because it just has international teams. The first FIFA game to have like official teams was 95. But you know what? They have a place in a lot of people's hearts, and a lot who I speak to think that the Mega Drive FIFA games were the best. You can see why. Though it's weird seeing the camera angle on the old FIFA games compared to the new ones, because the old FIFA games were played at an isometric angle. But I would say a lot of people are fond of that perspective, and that I completely get it. I really, really do. And yeah, and I think have I got anything else written down? No, I haven't. I mean, I was expecting this vlog to be random, which it's lived up to. It's lived up to being random. Half the time, I don't know where it's going, but it's going somewhere. So I think I'm gonna have to call this vlog an end here. I'm hoping to start uploading a bit more again, but yeah, when I had this call, it really knocked me for six. So hopefully things are on the up. And anyway, I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a good day and take care.